Hi, I'm Jennifer Kuchel, founder of Young and Successful Media. We specialize in the next generation workforce, meaning young people like you from over 100 countries. And we help them pursue the things that they love through work and career. There are millions of you that are interested in business and entrepreneurship. So we thought we'd share with you one of the biggest business success stories in history, Subway restaurants. Started by 17-year-old Fred DeLuca with a $1,000 loan, a ton of ambition, and enough stamina to overcome innumerable challenges, Subway grew to become the biggest chain in the world with locations in over 100 countries. Not only is the story of how they grew and how they operate on such a massive scale fascinating, but they did so by leveraging a business model called franchising. We're going to show you how a business can grow a global brand with this concept, how they can put thousands of people into business for themselves and wind up employing hundreds of thousands of people. Let's start by looking at what franchising is and opening up your perspective on a whole new world of opportunity.
Franchising is when a person that has successfully created a business has the opportunity to clone that business and replicate it in another market, either in their own country or in other countries, and enable other people to become business owners as well as their franchisees.
When a franchisee buys into a franchise system, they are essentially being awarded the rights to operate a system. The franchisor, from their years of experience, have figured out, operations, the point of sale system, the marketing and training programs. The franchisee simply pays for the opportunity to buy into the system with a franchise fee.
When franchising first started, and I would say probably in the 60s, 70s, they considered it kind of a Wild West because a lot of the franchisors, there weren't a lot of regulations.
As franchising grew, industry leaders wanted to promote ethical operating standards and encourage the growth of a new and dynamic business model.
There was a group of franchisors, and the loudest one, or the leader amongst them, was Bill Rosenberg, who is the founder of Dunkin' Donuts, and they were all at a trade show talking about what they could do to band together. With that, Bill took a $100 bill out of his pocket and put it down on the table and said, who's in with me? And that was the start of the International Franchise Association.
As a nonprofit trade organization, the International Franchise Association seized on its mission to promote, protect, and enhance franchising to grow an industry that hadn't existed before.
A lot of the early stories are focused in the food and the hotel business. In the 50s, when the American highway system was being built and there was all sorts of construction going on around the United States, franchising was just the perfect model at the perfect time.
In addition to hotel chains like Marriott and Hilton, and fast foods like Pizza Hut, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, and Subway, a whole new world of franchising is popping up to fill new consumer needs, like gas stations, auto mechanics, signage companies, and package delivery services.
Almost everything that can be a business can be franchised. I just talked to somebody doing a blow-dry bar where you just go in and all you do is get your hair blow-dried. There's an eyelash franchise that just caters to that.
The International Franchise Association includes more than 1,000 businesses that employ tens of millions of people worldwide. Several young members emerged straight out of college.
A fellow named Neil Balter, who actually did a class project in college on creating closet systems for residential use, actually was the one who started California Closets.
Joe Keeley from College Nannies and Tutors, and his company actually started from a paper that he was doing in an entrepreneurial college class, and he was encouraged to go ahead and take that to the next level.
Entrepreneurs can explore what it will take to become a franchisor and create a new franchise system.
Anyone that starts a business is going to be fulfilling a void. So if you look at yourself and your own family and your friends, and you say to yourself, what is it that doesn't exist that I would really like to have? And if you start there and you build a business and you watch the trends in that business, you're going to be very successful.
Building a franchising system from scratch can be a challenge, but to work within an existing system, it's important to get the right fit.
Research is the best way to do it. Franchise Times has something called the Superbook, which is both a printed copy and it's a website where you can go on and see the different opportunities. But what you really need to do is look at a number. So if you're interested in sandwiches, don't just look at one.
And then ultimately, you have to request the franchise disclosure document, which is the document that's required by the Federal Trade Commission. It's there to protect you as a franchisee. It tells you everything you need to know about the franchise business. It talks about the owners, it talks about the initial investment, it talks about how many units are open and how many units have closed.
It's also important to bring a certain skill set to the experience.
Management and sales skills would probably be the more common types of skills that the franchise companies would be looking for. You really have to be a people person because most of these businesses have employees and you have to be able to motivate employees.
A franchisee really does need to be able to go out into the community and recruit people and get people excited about coming into their business.
In any business pursuit, it's important to go in well-informed and with both eyes open to the potential pitfalls.
Once you sign on to be a franchisee, you do lose some control. So if the franchisor decides they want to start toasting their sandwiches or they want to add another service, a lot of times you have to buy that equipment. Sometimes they will help you out financially, and a lot of times they don't. Also with a franchise, you have to constantly renovate. You have to add new products, and all of this is coming out of your pocket.
If you're not willing to follow a system and follow really some orders from corporate headquarters, you may be better off going out and doing it on your own.
You always need to have enough money to be capitalized, because if you come in on a shoestring, then you're not going to be able to make payroll because you're not going to start making money immediately. And I think that's what a lot of people think. As you come in, you're in a franchise that's established, everybody knows who you are, and you should be just making loads of money from the day you open your front door. And there's a period of introducing the franchise to the community before you're actually earning money.
If you're ready to put in the hard work and follow a proven system of operation, the opportunities in franchising can be vast.
There's the terminology, you don't want to buy yourself a job, but some people would be happy with that. It's a nice income that you could have, and you can still pay your bills, take care of your children. But if you want to make a lot of money, you usually need to go into multi-unit franchising.
You have to have the energy to do this sort of thing, so it's a perfect environment for young people to be looking into multi-unit opportunities.
One of the great opportunities, particularly internationally, is to take a brand that's well known and recognized and take it to another country where it's well known and recognized, because you will have immediate success. That's how the younger generation is really impacting franchising. They're making it global much faster.
Let's take a look at the Subway case study that shows how the company was started in 1965 by a 17-year-old and grew to become the largest franchise in the world.